Hey, welcome to the Elmhurst City Council meeting, Monday, August 7th, 2023. Note the new venue. The city will pick up with a regrouping project, and so we're testing the city council to see if we can be as flexible and professional as staff has been in the last year, or week and a half, or however long it's been. So, can we rise for the pledge of allegiance? Like that. For those of you who leave.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Eric Elliott.
Here.
Kim Cliff. David Miller.
Here.
Monica Miller. Here. Ken.
Here.
Okay, great. There are no proclamations or awards, so the approval of the agenda is before you.
Madam Mayor, approve the agenda as presented.
Second. Motion and second to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The consent agenda is before you.
Madam Mayor, approval of the consent agenda.
Second. Motion and second to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
I should vote aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. We are citizen comment on the issues. This is the time that anyone can speak to the council for 3 minutes on business that the city can do something about that is not on our current agenda. You may not identify yourself as a candidate for public office or make any statements about a campaign. Is there anyone who'd like to speak? Is there anyone online who'd like to speak? Thank you. So we will move along to item 8A, public hearing to consider annexation request for parcel 94613 located at 1501 West Dollarway Road, and second reading of the ordinance 4919 approving that annexation. So I have a script for the hearing I need to read. The purpose of this legislative hearing is for the City Council to consider second reading and adoption of ordinance 4919 approving annexation number P23-018 for parcel 946133 located at 1501 West Dollarway Road, filed by Silver Dollar LLC. The public hearing is now open. I ask for your cooperation in the following procedure. Everyone will be given an opportunity to be heard. The city clerk will be making a recording of the proceedings. I will first recognize requests to testify from anyone attending this hearing in person, followed by any persons attending remotely via Zoom. If you wish to participate virtually via Zoom, you must raise your virtual hand on the Zoom meeting screen, or press *9 if you're connected by telephone only, and wait until I have recognized your request and you have been unmuted. When you're invited to speak, begin by stating your name and address and indicate whether you're speaking for yourself or individually as a spokesperson for a certain group or both. Speak slowly and clearly. Only one person will be allowed to speak at a time. Any questions of staff are to be directed through council. Before we hear from the audience, is there a staff report to be presented? Yes, there is.
Thank you, Mayor Lopez, fellow council members. I'm Laura Wilson, Planner of Community Development. This public hearing is to consider the second reading of ordinance 4919 to approve an annexation proposal P23018 for parcel 946133 located at 1501 West Dollarway Road. Community Development received this notice of intent to annex from Solar Dollar LLC on February 10th, 2023. The intent to annex was brought before City Council on March 20th. That item was tabled until April 3rd, 2023. At the third meeting parcel 946133 along with 2 other parcels noted in the southwest corner of that on the map, are part of an unincorporated island off of Dollarway Road. The property value of those 2 parcels to the southwest corner didn't meet the 60% assessed value rule to allow their inclusion of the annexation. But at the April 3rd meeting, council unanimously determined to accept the geographical boundary as proposed in the notice of intent, assign the regional center mixed-use zone, and require the proportional assumption of the existing city indebtedness. The county assessor determined the petition for annexation sufficient in regard to legal descriptions and corresponding owner of record on April 26, 2023. On June 8th, the planning commission heard the petition for annexation. During a public hearing, there were no public comments. The only comment heard was from Public Works requiring any improvements at time of development. The planning commission recommended approval of the annexation as presented with simultaneous adoption of the regional center mixed-use zone. On June 20th, City Council considered the annexation proposal at the public hearing. Council voted unanimously to approve the annexation proposal submitted by Solar Dollar LLC. That was the first reading of ordinance 4919. Staff noticed this public hearing in accordance with Ellensburg City Code on June 6th, including posting of the land use action sign, a legal notice in the daily record, and a buffer mailing to the property owners within 300 feet. Staff is recommending approval of the second reading of ordinance 4919, annexing parcel 946133 into the city of Ellensburg with the zoning of regional center mixed use and require the proportional assumption of existing city indebtedness. I can answer any questions if there are any.
We'll follow the script stuff.
Okay.
Does the applicant's representative have any testimony they would like to present at this time? Seeing no one, the floor is open to testimony from the public. Each person will have an opportunity to address the council for an initial period not to exceed 5 minutes. If more time is needed, it will be made available after everyone has had an opportunity to speak. Does anyone like to speak on this issue? Seeing no one and no one online. Does the staff have anything to add? Council, do you have any questions of the staff? Is there, or actually, I need to close the public testimony portion of this hearing. Council may now begin its discussion and deliberation.
Madam Mayor, I move second reading adoption of ordinance 4919.
Motion and second for second reading and adoption of ordinance 4919, approving the annexation request P23-018. Any discussion? All in favor?
No.
Beauchamp,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Goodwill. Yes. David Miller,
Aye.
Monica Miller. Yes. Lynn,
Yes.
Lopez.
Yes.
Okay, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Ellensburg, Washington, annexing parcel 946133 to the City of Ellensburg, Washington, assigning regional center mixed use zoning classification, providing for the assumption of existing city indebtedness, and fixing a time when the same shall be effective.
Thank you. So we are moving to page 68, item 8B. This is another public hearing, so we will read the script. The purpose of this legislative hearing is for the City Council to consider second reading and adoption of ordinance 4920, approving annexation number P23-022, filed by MTA Holdings LLC for 24 parcels identified in ordinance 4920 located at Untainham Road and Anderson Road. The public hearing is now open. I ask for your cooperation in following procedure. Everyone will be given an opportunity to be heard. The city clerk will be making a recording of the proceedings. I will first recognize requests to testify from anyone attending this hearing in person, followed by any persons attending remotely via Zoom. If you wish to participate virtually via Zoom, you must raise your virtual hand on the Zoom meeting screen, or press star 9 if you're connected by telephone only, and wait until I have recognized your request and you have been unmuted. When you're invited to speak, begin by stating your name and address and indicate whether you're speaking for yourself individually or as a person, spokesperson for a certain group or both. Speak slowly and clearly. Only one person will be allowed to speak at a time. Any questions of staff will be directed to the council. Before we hear from the audience, is there a staff report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, council members. Jeremy Johnston, Community Development, Planning Manager for the record. Before you this evening is a public hearing to consider the second reading of Ordinance 4920 to approve an annexation proposal for 24 parcels and their adjacent right-of-ways under file number P23-02. These parcels are located along Buchanan and Anderson Roads. Community Development received a notice of intent to commence annexations for 13 parcels originally for MTA Holdings LLC on March 6, 2023. On March 20th, City Council heard the intention to annex the proposal. To avoid the creation of new unincorporated islands, staff recommended the addition of 8 parcels at that meeting, bringing the total to 21. Staff verbally amended their staff report to recommend the 5 parcels currently in residential use be assigned a zoning designation of residential medium, with the remaining parcels be assigned an industrial light zone designation. At this meeting, council unanimously determined to accept the geographical boundary as proposed by staff, assign an industrial light zoning designation to 16 of the parcels, and residential medium to 5 of the remaining parcels, and require a proportional assumption of existing city indebtedness. Following the City Council meeting, staff discovered 3 parcels which had been included in the proposed annexation map at the March 20th City Council meeting had been overlooked in the staff report. Additionally, staff discovered that the recommendation to assign 5 of these parcels a zoning designation of residential medium was inconsistent with the city's development for its future land use map. Following this City Council meeting, staff refined the recommendation to include 24 parcels and to propose an industrial light zoning designation to all 24 parcels to remain consistent with its future land use map. Kittitas County Assessor determined the petition for annexation sufficient on April 26, 2023. On June 8, 2023, the City of Ellensburg Planning Commission heard the petition for annexation during the public hearing. 3 members of the public, including 2 property owners, included in the annexation request, provided testimony against the annexation of their property. Several concerns were raised. These concerns were summarized in your staff report for that meeting. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the annexation request unanimously. On June 20, 2023, City Council approved the annexation request and immediately followed with the first reading of Ordinance 4920. Staff has noticed this public hearing in accordance with the Ellensburg City Code, including posting of the land action sign on June 1st, 2023, legal notice and buffer mailing on June 6th. Staff recommends approval of the annexation and recommends the second reading of Ordinance 4920, annexing all 24 parcels into the City of Ellensburg with a zoning designation of industrial lots.
Thank you. Does the applicant's representative have any testimony they would like to present at this time? Seeing no one, the floor is open to testimony from the public. Each person will have an opportunity to address the council for an initial period not to exceed 5 minutes. If more time is needed, it will be made available after everyone has had an opportunity to speak. Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak to this issue? Seeing no one. Does the staff have anything to add?
No, yeah.
Council, do you have any questions of staff, applicants, or public? See then, the public testimony portion of this hearing is now closed. Council will now begin its discussion and deliberation of this matter.
Madam Mayor, I move second reading and adoption of Ordinance 4920.
Second. Motion and second for second reading and adoption of Ordinance 4920, approving annexation of 24 parcels on Chain Road and Anderson Road, and adopting the light industrial zoning. Is there any discussion?
Just briefly, I attended the planning commission meeting that was referenced where some property owners had some questions and some potential concerns with the annexation, and I think that process of going through the planning commission and talking to staff largely addressed those concerns, so I don't feel like we're forcing anybody into anything. Not that that would necessarily change the outcome, but the concerns were largely addressed.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor?
Excuse me.
I voted
She said, Bochamp,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Goodlow. Yes. David Miller. Monica Miller.
Yes.
Wynn.
Yes.
Lopez.
Yes.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Ellensburg, Washington, annexing parcels as listed in the ordinance to the City of Ellensburg, Washington, assigning light industrial zoning classification, providing for the proportional assumption of existing city indebtedness, and fixing a time when the same shall be effective.
Thank you. We are at 9A. This is ordinance 4922, second reading for updating chapter 7 of the criminal code.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council Chair, Wagner, City Attorney. As you heard before, 2021 Supreme Court issued a ruling in a case called State v. Blake. And what that case did was it determined that all the drug possession laws that relied on strict liability were unconstitutional. Temporary fix was put in by the legislature shortly after that, which lasted for the next 2 years until this legislative session. And then in a special session that actually followed the regular session this year, they enacted SB 5536, which recriminalized drug possession with a couple of changes. The most significant change, as far as we're concerned, is that whereas previously drug possession had been a felony offense, which meant that in the city we don't prosecute felonies, we can't by law, those have to be prosecuted by the name of the state, which is the county prosecuting attorney's office. The new law, SB 5536, reduced that charge to a road misdemeanor. The city does have the authority and responsibility to prosecute misdemeanors and road misdemeanors. Very committed to no matter how long the jail sentence be. Road misdemeanors are penalized by jail time up to 364 days, and the rest misdemeanors are given. Previously, since we had been prosecuting this case because we didn't have authority to, which of course, no city ordinance, which was adopted by reference in state law. Now that changed, we went back and of course looked at our Ellsworth City Code, chapter 7, where we codify our criminal ordinances and adopt by reference any of the state statutes. And what you have before you today for second reading is ordinance 4922, which will now incorporate those provisions of SB 5536 to add drug possession charges, drug possession prosecution to our city ordinances. When we had been planning to update first of that Title 7 in our code in any event, because there have been a couple of changes over the past years to state laws. As you can see there in the agenda report, there's been a change to the statutes governing executive orders that were previously sort of together throughout the SW. Those got consolidated, so we have to change our references as well. So it's more of a further cleanup, and we also changed some of the ordinances that pertain to what are called pre-issue. So with those changes, we cleaned up our Title 7 criminal code, and we're asking you to have a second reading adoption of 4922. I can answer you.
Are there any questions?
Environment, so, this doesn't necessarily affect my willingness to support this, but so now these are misdemeanors or gross misdemeanors. Is the effect that the cities now become responsible to prosecute and bear the costs of jail time for people that previously the state was?
Yes, and part of that is in the agenda for the financial impact. We will be prosecuting more cases. We don't know quite how many that would be, and depend on how the enforcement goes. And there's also a lot of money allocated by the legislature to treatment and prevention. So how that's all going to end up in terms of the increase in volume for our office is unknown. We have, there'll be more. The second part of your question. Yes, the city is required to pay for bail time to the Kansas County Corrections Division for those inmates who are there on the charges. So that will be up to that's part of the police department's budget, and so they will have to adjust for that as well. I know there's a prosecution. Yeah.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
When I moved second reading adoption of ordinance 49, committee of 7 on the Illinois.
Second.
Motion and second for second reading and adoption of ordinance 4922, amending covenants of the University of. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Buzzard,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Kozak, yes, David Miller, Monica Miller, yes, Quinn,
Yes.
Lilliput, yes. An ordinance of the city council of the city of Elmhurst, Washington, relating to Title 7, adding a new section entitled 7.435, chapter 7.105 RCW entitled Civil Protection Order with adoption by reference and amending sections 7.0.010, 7.04.160, 7.04.100, and 7.04.130.
Thank you. We are on page 117, item 11A. This is a grant agreement with the U.S. Agriculture for the Food Bank and Reentry Expansion Project.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Russell Taylor, what you have before you tonight are really a series of 3 agreements that impact the fish food bank, and it's pretty well aware. Fish performs a variety of services for people who are food needs and nutritional needs in the county, including food banks and pantries and other services for our community and those other food. Earlier this year, they had applied for a grant through USDA to expand their warehouse offices up there by the airport, and through no error of fish, because of an error when the legislation was drafted in Congress, the grant was awarded, but the city was named as the grantee rather than fish. And when Peggy Morash, President Fish, found out about this in the USDA, they approached the city to ask the city to assume that role as grantee for the grant. And we had a series of meetings about Peggy and many officials from USDA over the past month, trying to work out the details of how to make this work. And we landed on the city becoming the grantee for the grant, which is about $900,000. I should mention that Fish also has grant money coming through the county as part of the CDG program. Equal amount of $900,000. We're on the average, so to speak. And the way that process wise, we will become the grantee and Fish will become the subrecipient. And this isn't an unusual, it's a little bit unusual, but we've done the same thing, for instance, with the Habitat for Humanity project that was Stuart Meadows with the CHIP grant to get funding for stormwater improvements up there. We are what's called pass through. We receive the funding, and Habitat for Humanity is responsible for submitting paperwork to us to. This word is in a way in that, the grant money will flow through the city such that which would be responsible for complying with all the federal regulations, all the requirements for submitting reimbursement requests. This is a reimbursement based grant, and then we will ensure that those requests meet the federal requirements and act as guaranteed in that effect. You actually have 3 documents before you. They are not quite in final form, which is why it says in the motions that we're going to meet as presented or substantially submitted form. Part of that because the U.S. Department of Agriculture wanted us to get the council authority to city act as a grantee before it will actually make the awards fund. And we have a draft agreement, we have a draft grant agreement, and we also have a draft facility grants. It's on the second agreement with Fish. And so that's the agreement directly between the city and Fish. Well, that has to be presented to USDA. They want to make sure that it has all their elements of all that formally approved. We want to make sure that the requirements. So the plan would be approved tonight. We would then finalize a subdivision agreement with Fish, which is near completion. We would Fish would also finalize a portion of the draft grant before you have to work plan is approved by USDA, and those documents will be submitted to USDA for approval, and upon approval, a to city as guarantee as a pass-through, which is a legal term that they use in the vector, the documentary for the subdivision fish. So I hope that all makes sense, but I know that maybe also here because they couldn't do that, and I'll try to do my best.
So is the pass-through arrangement, does that change anything with prevailing wage, things like that for construction, or
Prevailing wage was already being taxed as part of the.
regardless of who you're saying? Okay.
Is there a future action for the council to sign something from the final grant?
Well, you're approving it in substantially some form.
Okay.
We would request that be the final issue. Once we do it, to be any significant subsequent changes, we now is approved by USDA. We can consider the ability to provide that, but right now we wouldn't anticipate that. They provided the draft grant agreement, so hopefully that's the form that's accepted to them. The only thing that we worked out is the work plan that's exhibit that will be between Bishop and USDA.
Is there any other questions?
I think. So, I think I read the sub-recipient description that essentially outlines officially responsible for obligations of the city will occur as grantee, is that right? So operations for this way out with the performance grants perpetuity essentially, right? So they're very interested. That's what it's going.
Katie, do you want to say anything?
No.
There are any ones in the audience who would like to comment on this issue? Council? Madam
Mayor, I move to authorize the city manager to execute the grant agreement with USDA for Fish Food Bank and Food Pantry Expansion Project as attached or in substantively similar form.
Motion and second to authorize the city manager to execute the grant agreement with USDA for the Fish Food Bank and the Pantry Expansion Project as attached or in suspension. Is there any? Opposed? Motion carried.
Madam Mayor, move to authorize the city manager to execute the community facilities grant subrecipient agreement with Fish as attached or in substantially similar form.
Motion and second, to authorize the city manager to execute the community facilities grant subrecipient agreement with Fish as attached or in substantially similar form. There any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote aye, opposed? Motion carried.
Motion to approve the budget adjustments necessary to accommodate this grant project.
Thank you. Motion and second to approve the budget adjustments necessary to accommodate the grant projects. Is there any discussion? Just noting there is a net zero on that. In and out. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Would you vote aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. We are at manager's reports.
Very efficient meeting. Good evening, council and mayor, Mayor and Sterling, city manager. Just a few reminders about items that are in the manager's report from the meeting tonight. We are nearing the end of our construction season, so we're up. We just a reminder to some notice that the public, we're going to be doing some night work, starting on Ruby Street. I believe the week of the 21st of August. And we're trying to minimize impacts to traffic. And again, that's from Manitoba to Fifth Avenue. And then again, after Labor Day weekend, we're going to start night work for Main Street and then Wildcat River Lakes. It's pretty substantial projects. And again, working really hard to not impact daytime traffic with that night work. A reminder that at our next meeting is a public hearing for one of the items we talked about during the study session, and that's the transit development and annual report. And also, just a thank you and a call out to the partnership between the city and the county for doing the chip seal. We have an annual program that we work on to maintain our city streets. If you maintain them, it costs a lot less than replacing them, and so it's a quarter or less the cost. This year, we did the largest project that we've ever done, so it's about 10 miles of chip sealing. And really great, again, great partnership with the county. Our staff worked really well together, and I just want to thank everyone for going over and above to make that a good project. We did some extra communications this year too, which I think really helped. And so if you recall, chip seals, they actually do the street maintenance or street repairs. And then it's a layer of oil and then the rock chips, and we leave those on for a couple of weeks. They're starting to remove those, and then we'll replace the striping. So we're just doing those several steps, and again, it's been a great project. And thanks to our staff. I do have a couple of requests for council tonight, and one is for council to set a special meeting for Monday, August 21st at 6 p.m. It would be at the same time that we would normally do the study session, that would ask for a special meeting to be set.
So moved.
Motion and second to set a special meeting on Monday, August 21st at 6 p.m. Discussion.
What was this topic? Give you a second.
It would be an executive session, we would bring into the executive session for that meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote aye, opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And one more item to request on the dais, you have a copy of a letter to the Economic Development Administration. This is in support of Senator Washington University being the lead or coalition to create as Central Washington Regional Tech Hub. And this is in honor of a partnership that's been established looking at a 5-county region in Central Washington to implement some of the objectives in our economic development strategic plan. And folks have been working across sectors for the last few months to put this together, and the application is due next week, and we have a letter of support. We ask that you provide authorization for the mayor to sign a letter of support.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, authorize the mayor to sign the letter to, Eric Smith, Director of the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Neighborhood check us. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's the highway report. Thank you.
This finance committee, which is why I was a meeting, but that way it's stated in the motion.
That all?
That's all I had to say. I'm still finding we might need this.
So, let's see, I could repeat that in any topic. And then I didn't do anything, I just wandered in and wandered out, the mission head out first over in the park. Weather was great, but the trend was lunch, the food, and I think I saw Representative Charlotte, was there flipping burgers next to the staff, so they had pulled that out, but they have good representation across the board. I got a chance to talk with folks, a lot of the providers, services within the sort of law enforcement, search and rescue, all sorts of things. Really good. I just think it's a great opportunity. We don't have a lot of events in the community. Touch a Truck is kind of like this, but people just kind of come together. You know, I think it's really, it's part of the, but it really is one of those good opportunities in the community. And I think people just kind of, I think the venue makes a big difference. I remember what we used to have it over by the police station, the courts room, it was pretty hot. So I think this is a good occasion. You know, the shade is appreciated. And then I also attended the finance committee meeting. And the numbers that we put in this meeting. So again, always impressed with staff. Our finance director, that's good. And then and I don't know if it's in the packet or not, but we're in really impressed their edges during the reads and shooter. But again, it's just outreach and and then last one is I like the first excuse down the October 16th with record meeting in October.
Second.
I think there was one and second to excuse David Miller's present for October 16th. But
October 16th.
is there, is that motion? Motion second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. I was going to double it up and say I'll do my best to hear the executive session first, August. I don't need an excuse that, but I will try to 6 hours to be here. I'll do my best. Thank you.
Councilmember Gribble.
Yes. We had a COG meeting this month, still the major discussion point is the regionalization of COG. We're trying to further into some of the details of that, how that might look. at the utility advisory committee meeting, we heard a presentation from the FCS group on a rate hike recommendation to support the implementation of the energy sustainability and that should be coming to council soon. We will know more about that. I met with the new superintendent of schools, Troy Twilliam, how you pronounce his last name, and we talked about a number of different things, but particularly the partnership with the school district. And he's definitely supporting with that and wants to maintain their relationship. And then I went to the dedication of the rodeo. And that's kind of nice.
My stuff's coming up. I will likely be missed completely next week and probably Saturdays as well. On Wednesday, I'll be traveling to work.
Yeah, so library is tomorrow, but it's looking like the meeting is going to be to discuss the future of the actual commission, because it's they had moved it to a coffee with the director, and now that hasn't been very successful either. So I think tomorrow we're going to be looking at which direction we're going to take with the library having a commission at all. And so
Adult Activity Center or Senior Citizen Advisory Commission.
what would I say?
Library.
Oh yeah, I apologize. Library is tomorrow too, but it got canceled for, we don't have it in August. I'm sorry. Okay, so, and I am going to, I had Jeremy Johnson help me with the affordable housing report to do tonight, because I am learning. I told you that every single time, so I don't really know which are the key components to report back from those meetings. So he helped me with that, and he said that we are working, the Affordable Housing Commission is working on the bonus density options and the permitting uses in the residential areas and how they pertain to affordable housing in Ellensburg. And staff is putting together with the Planning Commission and Affordable Housing some things to bring back to the city, to council, to kind of help us with that. And those steps are kind of the first step on our strategic plan with implementing that program. So they're really on track, I think, for the first time in a while, really making some of these things move forward. So I'm excited about it. And so that's what I have.
Quite a bit. So I have a national night out as well. And then the next day, met with the Central Washington mayors with Representative Kim Schreier. And she thought it was great part of national night out. It was a great event as well. Anyway, with the mayors, we just discussed kind of mutual community challenges that we're all experiencing. And I attended the Tech Hub event with Councilmember Elliott. So this is through the CHIPS Act, Central Washington University is going for a grant to bring together 5 counties and businesses and educational entities and government within those 5 counties to work on workforce development and research and development on and with the target areas of advanced manufacturing and disaster mitigation prevention. So 2 separate things. So with our letter that grant will be going out against 2 August 10th, and we'll see how that goes. But it could be an exciting opportunity for the community, the region. I attended utility advisory. I attended a Zoom meeting on resource adequacy that was run by the Washington Utility and Transportation Commission and the Department of Commerce. where there's a lot of people working on these issues. And, I guess my takeaway was there's a lot that can be done to make the most of the existing resources through contracts between utilities and moving energy around at different times, as well as demand management, making more use of the distributed energy like rooftop solar through the utilities. But I think most of the experts agree that we need more and more flexible kinds of power generation if we're going to reduce our carbon emitting generation. And so that they're trying to make it work as they can with more of the solar and wind and renewables coming online. I attended a checkerboard partnership event. So there's the legacy of the railroad is everyone got alternating 1 mile squares of swath of Kittitas County, and so this checkerboard pattern, which is manage. So there's an opportunity, prior to the land is being sold. So there was a grant through the Land and Water Conservation Fund for $12 million to acquire 8,300 acres in the Tana and Jack Creek area. So some of that checkerboard will be consolidated into U.S. Forest Service land and managed for the benefit of the community. And they're currently fundraising to acquire the Cleon Ridge area. So, hear more on that later. And I met the new director of the Habitat and he said we're going. 33 weeks. So with that, if there's nothing further, we are actually.